हरे कृष्णा माधव शरण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam Prabhu. How are you, Prabhu?
I'm good प्रभु जी।
Very
प्रभु जी, I will
nice.
change your name to your initiated name प्रभु.
Yes, yes.
Let's give 1 minute for devotees to join प्रभु.
Sure, sure, Prabhu.
Okay प्रभु जी, I think we can start this time.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very glad to have the association of His Grace Madhav Sharan Prabhu. We will continue with the series of Krishna Katha. Today, Madhav Sharan Prabhu will be walking us through the pastime of Lord Krishna, killing of Pralambasura and Anartha represented by him. Prabhuji, over to you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatideshdarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gauravaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. First of all, I would like to take the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, assembled Vaishnavas, before starting the class. Hare Krishna. Today, the topic is killing the demon, Pralambasura. And we can also try to learn what are the anarthas he represents, and what do we learn from Pralambasura, the demon Pralambasura. So actually, we know that the Lord is descending to this material world in every yugas. So that is to attract the conditioned souls to his eternal dham of Goloka Vrindavan or Vaikuntha, because the conditioned souls are thinking that they are very happy in the material world. So the Lord comes again and again. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Whenever the religion is raised, adharma is raised, then he comes every yugas. So there is basically Lord's Vistrita Rupa, or the expansions, and there is also the Lord's avatars. What is the difference between Vistrita Rupa and the avatars? The Vistrita Rupa, the expansion forms, are always present in the spiritual world, and the various these expansions, when they descend into this material world, they become the avatars. So they are the avatars of the Lord. So we have in the Shastra it is mentioned that there are so many avatars of the Lord. Just like there are waves, unlimited waves in the ocean, even sometimes we may be able to count the waves of the ocean, but we cannot count the number of avatars which Lord takes in the material world. And we also know that there are various types of avatars. There are Leela avatara, then Guna avatara, Yuga avatara, Purusha avatara, Shaktavesha avatara. Like this, there are various types of avatar. So we know that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. So ete chamsha kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna is the avatari. So he from whom all the avatars they come. And his first expansion is Lord Balaram. So Balaram is the same personality of Godhead. The bodies are two different. The same personality, but with two different bodies. So one is the Sevaya Bhagavan and another one is the Sevaka Bhagavan. So Balaram is the Sevaka Bhagavan who serves the Lord and is in the mood of serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And of course, we know there are various other expansions like first Chaturvyuha, then Narayana, then second Chaturvyuha, then from Sankarshana, Mahavishnu comes, then Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, then Shirodakashaya Vishnu. So there are various forms of the Lord, and also in material world, the Vishnu, Mahavishnu form or the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu form, they take care of the material world. When we think of Krishna, Krishna is always all attractive. Karshati iti Krishna. So he attracts all the living entities. So this is the purpose that he wants to attract the living entities, and also he wants to give the world the various pastimes so that the living entities take care of the take advantage of these leelas, and then after taking the advantage, they progress in the path of pure devotional service so that they can go back home to their original place, which is the Vaikuntha Dhama or the Goloka Vrindavana Dhama, and perfect their existence. This is the whole thing why Krishna comes again and again to this material world. One of the reasons. And we know various forms of the Lord. He performed various this leelas, pastimes. We know the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, and we know the pastimes of Varahadev or Matsya Avatar. Even in the Vamana Avatar, how he took the positions of Bali Maharaj. So like this, various pastimes are there. But it is said, out of all of his pastimes, the most beautiful pastimes are his pastimes in Goloka Vrindavan Dham. Of course, even in the form of Krishna, there are pastimes in Dwaraka, pastimes in Hastinapur and Mathura. So various pastimes are there, but the most attractive pastimes are the pastimes in Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan. And when Lord descends to this world, it is the Dham also descends, and it is Gokula Vrindavan. And in Gokula Vrindavan, Krishna beautifully performing various pastimes. So it is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam Krishna is surrounded by various of his relatives, various of his friends, cows, and bulls, cowherd girls, uh, and his parents, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maya. And it's a beautiful atmosphere whenever he's descending. And he's playing in with the covered boys in Govardhan and singing and dancing. So in this way, it's beautifully explained how in Vrindavan, Krishna is, playing with the and also dancing, singing. Uh, so this way he is performing various type of pastimes, which attracts various of his devotees, Prajavasis. So in Krishna book, it is mentioned that even when Krishna and Balaram, they were present in Vrindavan. Generally, what happens this in India, summer is very heat. So nobody likes summer in India because it's too hot. Sometimes it may reach even 42, 45 degrees. So, and there is a lot of sweating. Nobody likes such environment. But when Krishna and Balaram were present, even the summer was very pleasing. Very nice temperature was there. And all around Vrindavan, there was greenery and flowers were blossoming and cuckoos are singing, bees are humming, and the lakes, from the lakes, there are beautiful breezes coming and they take the water droplets of the lake and they carry beautiful aroma. So in this way, Vrindavan, it was very beautiful even in the summer when Krishna and Balaram were present. There were beautiful waterfalls. When the waterfalls, there is a cooling effect. So there is practically very nice temperature maintained. And with the birds chirping and even the peacocks, they are sometimes crowing and sometimes they are dancing. They are opening their feathers and they are dancing. So like this Vrindavan was very beautiful even in the summer. So Krishna and Balaram, they were accompanied with their cowherd boys, and they were playing various types of these games. Sometimes they used to play hide and seek. Sometimes this imitating of various birds' voices. Mm. And sometimes they are different fruits or the walnuts. They are throwing high and one has to catch it. Sometimes one boyfriend, uh, Krishna's boyfriend, he is jumping on the shoulder of the another boyfriend and he has to carry. So like this, they were laughing, they are singing, they are dancing. Sometimes they are playing flutes. Sometimes they are playing the bugles. And sometimes they are eating the fruits. Here it's mentioned that boys are catching the ball with the fruits and this which fruits? Amalaka or the bale. And sometimes what they are doing, they are just the eyes they are covering of one covered boy and he has to find the persons see around him and he's going here and there, he cannot see and everybody is laughing and clapping their hand. So like this there was very beautiful atmosphere. So one day what happens, one of the covered boy, his mother, she says that you stay at home, you have some uh, household duties to be done. And that particular cowherd boy, he stayed in the house. So the demon called Pralamba, His name is Pralamba. So since he is Asura, he is called Pralambasura. So he comes to know that this particular cowherd boy is not coming. So he disguised himself in such a way that as similar to that particular cowherd boy. And somehow he comes into the group of Krishna and Balaram. We know that Krishna, he knows the past, he knows the present, and he knows the future. Pralambasura was thinking that if he is disguising himself, Krishna and Balaram, they will not come to know. But Krishna knows everything. So Krishna came to know that Pralambasura has disguised himself as the cowherd boy and he has joined the group. But Krishna doesn't show that he knows, but he comes to that cowherd boy and he tells, "Oh, my dear friend, it is very good that you have come to take part in our pastimes." So Krishna, then he embraces the Pralambasura and in the form of that cowherd boy. And he tells all the boys that let us play together now. And we make two parties. One is the party of Krishna and another one is the party of Balaram. And whoever wins the game, the loser should carry the winners on their shoulders and they should carry to different places nearby. I mean, not too far, but nearby places. And in this way, the losers will, just like it's awarding the winners. There may be sometimes when one wins the game or there may be some gifts given or sometimes the monetary benefits are given. So in this way, here the losers have to carry the winners. That is the rule of the game. Okay, then the game started. And in the game, what happened? Krishna's party lost the game and Balaram's party, they won the game. Now, what has to be done? Krishna's party, all the members, they have to carry the members of Balaram's party. Okay, then Krishna took Sridhama, and because everybody are carrying each person's, Krishna carried Sridhama, then Bhadrasena, he carried Vrashabha, and this Pralambasura was in Krishna's team. So Pralambasura carried Lord Balaram. So in this way, they were all, taking Krishna took Sridhama, various places nearby, and this Bhadrasena also, he took Vrashabha nearby. And this Pralambasura, what he did, he also imitating the play, imitating Krishna and Balaram. Pralambasura was thinking that if I am carrying the Balaram when I am with Krishna, Krishna is very, very powerful. He is the most powerful among all the cowherd boys. So I should take Balaram away from Krishna and I will kill him. Like that, the Pralambasura was thinking. And Pralambasura started taking Lord Balaram away from everyone. So first he slowly started running, and then Balaramji became very, very happy. He was enjoying the ride. Then Pralambasura started little bit running, and he was running towards the forest, Bandiravana forest. So this went inside the forest, running away from all the coward boys and Krishna. So now Lord Balaram could understand that something is wrong. This coward boy who is carrying me, he is taking me away from all the coward boys and Krishna. So when Balaram was thinking in this way, uh, Pralambasura, he assumed his original real form. What was his real features? He was decorated with the golden helmet and a huge form and a locket, the earrings which he is wearing, the very big earrings. And it is said that his height was to the limit of the clouds. And his eyes were dazzling with the blazing fire, and his mouth flashing with sharpened teeth. So, in this way, he showed the real form. Now, Balramji is completely surprised by demon's appearance, and he began to wonder how all of a sudden this carrier who is in the form of this covered boy, he changed in his appearance in all the way. Now it's a huge size, and like blazing fire and all Balramji is seeing. So Balramji could understand that he is disguised, Pralambasura is disguised in the form of covered boy. So Pralramji wanted to immediately kill Pralambasura. So what he does, he takes the fist and he hits the head of Pralambasura. And then Pralambasura is dead. Because his strike was so hard that his demon fell dead, just like it is mentioned, just like the snake when it is hit on the head, it falls, died. Similarly, the blood poured out of the Pralambasura's mouth, and it's like a great hill falling. The Pralambasura, he was dead. And it made a huge sound. And then all the coward boys and Krishna, they came running and they saw, wow, there is a huge demon, he's lying dead. They understood. Then they all started praising Lord Balramji. Well done, Hari Bol, like that. Then all of them started embracing Balram and say they saw whether some injury has happened to Balramji. So no, there is no injury happened. So they all, with great affection and love for Balramji, they congratulated Balram. And all the demigods from the heavenly planet, they started showering the flowers because they were very, very satisfied. And they, with all happiness, they started showering the flowers on the transcendental body of Lord Balaram and also Krishna. So Balaram was very happy and he gave his blessings to these demigods. And also, this Pralambasura was killed by the Lord. They get some special mercy because even in the Shastra it is mentioned, Krishna is in the absolute platform. So, since he is in the absolute platform, his killing or his showering of mercy, there is no difference because it is all ultimately for the elevation of the soul. It brings the soul to the higher platform. It doesn't degrade the soul. So that is the reason it is the also killing of the demons is also a mercy from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, Revati Ramanatvam Vai Baladevachyutagracha Halayuda Pralambagna Pahima Purushottama. O husband of Revati, O Lord Balaram, O elder brother of Lord Krishna, O Lord who holds the plow weapon, O killer of Pralambasura, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, please protect me. Pahimam. Pahimam means actually when we want to take shelter of the Lord in the mood of surrender, we pray Pahimam or Rakshamam. Pahimam, Pahimam or Rakshamam, Rakshamam. So we pray like that. So Halayda Pralambagna Pahimam Purushottama. So in this way, we are praying to Supreme Personality of Godhead to protect us. So basically, this Pralambasura is a demon sent by Kamsa, and he represents mainly the two types of anarthas. One type of anartha is the gross sex, and second type of anartha is the subtle sex. And also, with these two, gross sex and the subtle sex, there is a duplicitous mentality that is involved when one is involved in such activities. So Pralambasura represents this type of anartha. So basically, this material world is called Maithunya Agara. It's a shackle house of sex. So we in this throughout this Srimad Bhagavatam we see various stories. How this illusory energy of the Lord is so strong, and how even in the very advanced stages of devotional service, one falls prey to this gross sex and subtle sex. So we have the story of Shobari Muni, we have the story of Vishwamitra, we have the story of Ajamila. So many stories. Why it has been explained throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam. Basically, in the spiritual world, there is something that the living entities are having, the Adi Rasa. Adi Rasa is the original rasa with which the living entity exchanges the loving reciprocations from the Lord. That is the original rasa. But the same Adi Rasa, when it is perverted in the material world, it and mixed with the mode of passion, becomes the kama or the sexual desires. So there is both gross sex, and what is subtle sex? Subtle sex is the puja labha pratishta. So one wants the one has the desire to get worship from the others, or some type of profit or adorations he wants to get. So this type of mentality is represented. Actually, Pralambasura represents all these anarthas. So basically, we know, even in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned how this formidable energy, even in the yogi is very advanced stage, is still pulled by this energy. So Arjuna asked this question to Krishna, that Krishna, what is that force which impels one even of highly determined or of the high good character person, still he succumbed and is pulled by this force. Then Krishna, what he tells, Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhava ashano mahapatma vidhiyena. So in that shloka, Krishna says, it is the lust only, Arjuna, which is all eternal enemy of the living entity, which is keeping the living entity within the material world. So, what is this lust? Lust is the perverted form of that Adi Rasa. This is a Krishna Prema when it is, in the perverted form, mixed with the mode of passion, becomes the kama or the lust. So, Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Premanna. Now, so Atmendriya Priti Vancha Dhare Bali Kama. So, Atma Indriya Priti Vancha. So, when the living entity desires to enjoy separate from Krishna, imitating him, then what happens? He falls down into the material nature and he is captured by these three modes of material nature. And especially when this Krishna Prema is in the material world mixes with the mode of passion or Rajoguna. And then it is manifested as this Kama, this devouring force, which is the eternal enemy of the living entity. So, living entity in the material world thinks himself as I am the enjoyer, I am the controller, and I am the proprietor, and I am the master. So he starts thinking himself to be like this, completely forgetting his eternal nature, that I am the spirit soul, I am Jivatma, servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Jivera Swarupoi Krishnera Nityadas. He completely forgets that. So that's why Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita that Avratam Jnana Me Tena Jnanino Nitya Vairina Kamarupena Kaunteya Dushpurena Nalena Cha. So the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. So, avratam jnanametena. How it is, the pure consciousness is covered with various forms of lust. So, depending on the intensity of lust, the living entity gets various material bodies. If the intensity is too much, then it gets body in the lower animal forms. That is also explained in the same chapter. Krishna tells, just like the embryo is covered within the womb of the mother. That means the intense lust, the intensity of lust is too much. In that particular form, the living entity absolutely cannot understand the spiritual matters at all. He cannot understand what is Krishna and what is my relationship with him. He cannot understand. And the second example it's given, which is that the mirror covered with the dust. In this mirror covered with the dust, it is little more less intense lust. So if one wipes the mirror, then he can see the face. And third example is the smoke, the fire covered by the smoke. If the fire is covered by the smoke with little, if we put little bit wind, blow the wind, then the fire may again blow. So this type of consciousness is generally compared to the consciousness of human beings. So there are various types of lust, and what happens? Avratam jnanametena. So when the living entity he is trying to enjoy independent of Krishna. So Krishna bhuliya jeev bhogavaancha kare, pashate maya tare chapatiya dare. So when living entity thinks himself that I am the enjoyer and I will enjoy independent of Krishna, then what happens? Pashate maya tare. The nearby maya immediately captures the living entity in her grip. So then the lust develops. So basically, in the mind, the living entity starts contemplating about the enjoyment, the bhoga. I want to do the bhoga. Bhoga vancha kare. So how it happens? Dhyayate vishyan pumsam sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama kramat krodho bijayate krodho भवति सम्मोह सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमा स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. So how the living entity is entangled in the material world, beautifully Krishna is explaining. So it starts with all the desires to enjoy this material world, and he starts contemplating. Dhyayata vishayan pumsam. They start thinking about the objects of the senses, that I will enjoy this object of the senses. I want to eat this pani puri, even though it is made of all this onion, garlic. I will eat all this, go to restaurant and I will eat this nonsense foodstuffs. I want to, hear some nonsense musics. I want to see some dirty things. So these are the, the living entity imagines itself, thinking that it is enjoying. But actually it is not the enjoyment. It is in the illusion, thinking that I am enjoying. But actually it is not the enjoyment. It is both enjoyment and suffering. In the material world is suffering only. But the living entity thinks that I am enjoying. So start contemplating that I will enjoy. Then what happens? Start contemplating, then the attachment started developing towards the object of the senses. Dhyayate vishyan pumsa sangasteshu pajayate. Sanga, when it comes in the contact, then the attachment. Sangat sanjayate kamaha, then the lust develops. The attachment and the lust develops. And with the lust, after that, if the lust is not fulfilled, then it leads to krodha, kamaesha krodha. Otherwise, if it is fulfilled, then lobha develops. So in this way, what happens? The living entity, krodod bhavati sammoha, sammoha smriti vibhrama. Memory is completely lost. Smriti Bramshad Buddhi Nasho, he lost his intelligence, and when he loses his intelligence, then actually he falls into the material existence again. And then he continues his existence in the material world in the form of taking birth and death in the various species of life. पुनरपि जननम पुनरपि मरणम पुनरपि जनने जठरे शयनम यह संसारे बलु दुस्तारे पाहि मुरारे कृपया पारे पाहि मुरारे. So in this way, going millions of lifetime, thinking that I will be happy by fulfilling my lust. So in this way, he is engaged in the gross sex. And what is subtle sex? He wants to think that I should get the worship from the others. I should get the, if I'm doing something, I should get some profit. This the same thing is there in the material existence actually. If you see, if I'm putting some 10 rupees or 100 rupees, I expect some return 500 rupees back. That is why so many people are doing business. And also people want position in the society, like politicians or so many people, so that they got all the facilities to enjoy the sense gratification. uh, and also this puja, everybody should worship, uh, like the politicians, everybody should say jai jai, all these things. But that tendency is there in the material sphere of life, but we should not bring that same thing in the devotional sphere of life. Because in the devotional sphere, we should always think in terms of that I am dasa dasanu dasa. That Gopi Bartuhu Pada Kamalayora Dasa Dasanu Dasa. This mood we should have in the devotional service. But if we bring the same puja labha pratishta, that I want some position, I want some pratishta, or some everybody should pay obeisances to me, and when I come to temple, they should garland me and do jai jaikar. This and all we should not expect in being inside devotional atmosphere. In the devotional life, we should feel ourselves as the servant of the servant. I am the most fallen. That is what the mood of the all the acharyas. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj, when he wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he is thinking that I am most fallen than even Jagai and Madai. So, and his worm in the stool is much more elevated than me. I'm more fallen than the worm in the stool. That is the consciousness of the great acharyas or the pure devotees. But if we are in the neophyte or the kanishta stages, then we will be expecting some puja or labha or pratishta. Even from doing devotional service, I want some profit, or I want some adorations, recognitions, everything. So this Pralambasura represents this type of anartha. And when we want such things, automatically this duplicious nature will start developing. The genuine feelings may go away, and we may start doing here and there's a partiality or so many things. So such things may arise. So that's why this Pralambasura mentality of both gross sex and the subtle sex should be completely eradicated. So basically, Balaramji killed two main demons. It's Dhenukasura and Pralambasura. And both are related with the avidya or ignorance. The Dhenukasura represents the ignorance of the spiritual knowledge, and always Guru gives the knowledge. So Balaramji is the Adi Guru. So Adi Guru and the spiritual masters in the material world, they are the representatives of Lord Balaram. So spiritual master enlightens the disciple. Divya Jnanam. So the Divya Jnanam is giving to the disciple. So during the Guru Vandana, we are singing this Divya Jnan Hriday Prakashito. By the mercy of the spiritual master, the disciple gets the Divya Jnan. But both Dhenukasura, who is completely representing the ignorance, and Pralambasura, who is representing the Kama, and Kama is born out of ignorance or avidya. So both avidya and Balaramji, since he is the Adi Guru, no, so Balaramji killed both Dhenukasura and Pralambasura, and by the mercy of Balaramji and his representative spiritual master, avidya in our heart, it may be eradicated. So spiritual master, by giving diksha and also this transcendental knowledge, he removes our ignorance. Divyajnan Hriday Prakashitu. So with that, our avidya is removed. When the avidya is removed, automatically kama is driven away. Because the living entity can realize, not theoretical understand, he can realize that I am the eternal servant of Krishna. I am dasa dasanu dasa. I have eternal relationship with my Lord, and always thinking about Krishna. When one is thinking about Krishna and Krishna's position, then he will never start thinking that I am the master, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer. He always thinks himself to the servant of the servant of the servant. When living entity can constantly remember the Lord and always thinks that I am the servant of the servant of the servant, then one can overcome of this kama, both gross sex and subtle sex. Because when we realize that I am the soul, Brahma Bhuta Prasanna Atma Nashochati Nakangshati, one becomes blissful. Prasanna Atma. Inside is very, very happy. Outside he may be looking very normal devotee or another, ordinary devotee. But inside he is happy. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nashochati Nakangshati. So when he is happy, then what happens? Param Drishtva Nivartate. When he is having the higher taste, when he is having the higher taste of bliss in Krishna consciousness, then he can give up the lower taste of this gross sex and subtle sex. Why one is implicated with gross sex and subtle sex? Because the devotee is not realizing the higher pleasure. He is not getting the taste of higher bliss in Krishna consciousness. That is why he is becoming contented with this gross sex and subtle sex. But if the devotee is having param drishtva nivartate, higher bliss, then he is not thinking about the lower form of this happiness. It is like a tucham for him. Even the Yamunacharya, he prayed, it is like tucha. My lips curl in distaste when I start thinking of sex. So that is why when the devotee is having the higher bliss of Krishna consciousness, Brahmabhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kakshati. Prasannatma, he is blissful in Krishna consciousness. Then this lower taste is automatically rejecting, like the tucha, like a stool is rejecting. But if one is not in that higher platform of higher Krishna consciousness bliss, then one is automatically attracted to this lower forms of enjoyment, which is in the form of gross sex or subtle sex. So as we advance higher, we need to completely eradicate this Pralambasura mentality within our heart and get the higher bliss of Krishna consciousness. And this is possible by the mercy of spiritual mastery, the Guru and the Vaishnavas. Of course, we have mercy of Srila Prabhupada, who has given us various books and Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We can take advantages of this process, follow it very sincerely and seriously, and advance and come completely out of this gross sex and subtle sex in the Pralambasura mentality, and try to become completely pure and get that bliss of Krishna consciousness. And of course, Balramji's mercy coming through the spiritual master, it is definitely possible. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah. Are there any questions or comments, corrections?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for a very nice class. I would recommend the devotees to unmute the mic and share the questions or reflections, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So Adi Rasa means it is Krishna Prema Prabhu.
Yes. The different mellows in the spiritual world exchange with the Krishna when the devotee is engaged in this loving Krishna, with the love he serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is Adi Rasa.
Yes. Prabhu, this you have taken from Maya Prabhu because the many things, points which you told are not from Krishna book.
Some books are from His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. In that, he's, I think, Brahmacharya in Krishna consciousness, in the first phase, it's mentioned. And also, I think Srila Prabhupada also mentions this. I don't know where, but I think this. Basically, Adi Rasa is the original Rasa, which Krishna is called Rasaraj, right? So, Akhila Rasa Vigraha. So, Krishna is the Vigraha, is the reservoir of all rasas. So, one is this mellow or the rasa, one is tasting that mellow. He is in the higher platform of Krishna consciousness. One is tasting that, then he will not fall into the lower taste of mundane rasa. Mundane rasa is this Jadananda or the calm or gross sex or subtle sex.
I quoted that.
Hare Krishna.
Even that 1%, like what we read is when they were all there, Pralambasura will join the team. But from you, what we learned is one Gopa will stay back because of the work, and this Pralambasura comes in his disguise. Very nice. Lot of good points we got, and very, very nice, wonderful class. Dandavad Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Hare Krishna. Right. Is there any other questions?
Prabhu, such a wonderful class, Prabhu. I don't think we'll forget. You said so logically. First, ignorance is removed, and then anartha is removed. So wonderful, Prabhu. But still, I feel even if we are doing this bhakti yoga, still so many anarthas are remaining. So what more we should do, Prabhu?
Yeah, basically this it is the process of anartha nivritti. So we have ado shraddha, tata sadhu sangha, tata bhajana kriya, tata anartha nivritti. So it is a stage of anartha nivritti. In the process, there are 9 stages up to Krishna prema. In the lower stages of devotional service, anarthas removal takes place. So, but after Nishtha, it is very fast because in Nishtha, one becomes almost like a steady in his devotional service. So it is like if we give the example of climbing, you have to cross the mountain. When we have to cross the mountain, then when we start a bhajana kriya, it is like just to start climbing the hill. And we continue bhajana kriya, and then when it is very steep, high in the mountain, that is the phase of anartha nivritti, up to the almost top. That is the phase of anartha nivritti. That is the most exhaustive period because we have to put a lot of effort in getting rid of these anarthas. So, and this anarthas, anartha nivritti is in our hand. This phase is in our hand. that's why in the Nectar of Instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami explains the advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the practitioner. If our attitude is to deliberately get rid of anarthas and come out of these anarthas, then anartha nivritti will be very fast. It is very short. But if we are not humble, and if we are not ready to learn from our mistakes, and if we are arrogant, then anartha nivritti becomes bigger, and maybe after lifetime also. So that is why Srila Prabhupada says we can go back in this lifetime only, because if our attitude is proper, then anartha nivritti becomes very less. Then after climbing up the hill, that is the Nishta point. Nishta, then Ruchi. When once start getting the taste in the devotional activities, then it's very easy, because he's already got the taste. Then he starts developing the intense attachment to the Lord. Then Bhava Prema. It's very fast. Basically, the Anartha Nivritti stage is the one which is the time taking, because of the attitude of the devotee. So Hare Krishna. So as we are doing the bhajana kriya, we can overcome this anartha. It is basically it is like the fire is it is all around, and if we are not putting further fuel into the fire, it will not burn. It will burn out and it will stop after some time. And just imagine, we are not also supplying the fuel, but on the other hand, we are putting water onto it. Then the fire is extinguished very fast. So stopping the fuel is like we are not engaging in any more further sense gratificatory activities. It is like stopping the fuel. And pouring the water on the fire means it is like Navavida Bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, all this Navavida Bhakti, mainly the chanting of the holy name. So when we chant the holy name, it is like we are pouring the water on the fire. So the Kama Agni will extinguish very fast. So that is the phase of Anartha Nivritti. So it is in our hand. So if one is continuously giving the fuel also, then the fire will burn more and more. That means if one is engaged in more and more sense gratificatory activities, fire will burn more and more. To stop that fuel, and at the same time pour the water. So Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Dandavat pranams. So first we should have intense desire to get over the anarthas, no, Prabhu, and then do this.
Yes, intense desire, that laulyam, it becomes more and more as we go become like higher and higher stages. So that is why if we have very strong desire and our sadhana is very, very strong, especially with the chanting of the holy name, at least we should come to the stage of namabhas as soon as possible. And with the intense desire, and we are chanting with this very strong sadhana, then we can very fast come to the stage of pure chanting, Shuddhanam. So that is the main key. Like if we come to the Namabha stage and with strong desire, if we come to the Shuddhanam, then Bhavanam and Premanam. So Shuddhanam, Bhava, Prema is very fast. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, regarding this Pralambasura, can you just enumerate his bad qualities and which we have to overcome in us? Can you just list it?
Yeah, that is what I mentioned, Mataji. The mainly Pralambasura representing gross sex and the subtle sex. So basically the Kama, the desire, very strong desire to enjoy this material world. That's why this material world is called Maitunya Agara, right? So Pralambasura represents these qualities. Of course, these demons are having all the anarthas in their Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moh. Pralambasura and like demons, they have all these qualities, maximum in their heart. So they represent such kinds of anarthas. So in our heart also, we have the tendency to do the Bhagavata. So enjoy the material world or thinking that I am the enjoyer. Even though when we are doing devotional service, sometimes devotees may fall here and there. That is because of this Pralambasura, demoniac quality being in the heart. But if we are continuously taking shelter of the devotional practices like Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Kirtan, Srimad Bhagavata Shravana, then when we are remembering the Lord continuously, then this Pralambasura mentality of gross sex and subtle sex cannot disturb us. See, basically, only one thing we have to remember, that when our mind is completely focused on the lotus feet of the Lord, then Maya cannot touch us. Maya will take over our control only when we forget Krishna. Means our mind is diverted away from Krishna. So that is why only way to be away from Maya is always remembering Krishna, completely surrendering to Him, always remembering Krishna. Keeping our mind always focused in the lotus feet of the Lord, 24/7. That is the only way we can completely get away from this gross sex and subtle sex. And that is possible only by Kripa. And that Kripa comes from the Lord. That sloka is there, Prasadam Adhigacchati. So, Atmavashye Videya Atma, Prasadam Adhigacchati. So, Prasadam Adhigacchati, the Kripa from the Lord comes on whom? It's a Videyatma. Videyatma means one who is completely Videya, means very sincere and serious in the devotional practice. Atmavashye Videyatma. Vishya Vinivartante Niraharaside. No, not that. I think Ragadveksha Vimuktestu. Ragadvesha Vimuktestu Vishyan Indriyeshcharan. Atmavashye Videyatma Prasadam Adhigacchati. So, Lord's mercy, when it falls on the devotee, then he can overcome this gross sex and subtle sex. And that mercy always comes through the Guru. And Balaramji. That is because when Krishna sees that the devotee is in the mood of servant of the servant, serving in the other Vaishnavas, Guru, this Hare Krishna movement, according to his maximum capacity serving, then when the Lord is pleased, Videyatma, that soul which is very sincerely doing the devotional service, Prasadam Adhigacchati, he gives the Kripa. And with that Kripa, by that Kripa only, one can overcome this gross sex and subtle sex. Otherwise, it is impossible to overcome this gross sex and subtle sex. Hare Krishna Mataji, I hope I understood your question and answer.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Are there any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Prabhuji. I think there are no other questions.
Okay.
Thank you
Hare Krishna.
very much once again for a very nice class. We'll end today's session with Vaishnava Pranam. Pancha Kalpata ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Thank you, devotees. We'll meet again tomorrow with another first time of Lord Krishna tomorrow morning. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I'll end the Zoom session now. Thank you, Prabhu.